Welcome to Capital Courage, where politics meets bold ideas and fearless conversations.
We're here to break down the biggest stories in Virginia and across the country with hot takes, real talk, and a little fun along the way.
Whether it's policy fights, political showdowns, or leaders making waves,
we're diving into the courage it takes to stand up, speak out, and shake things up.
So let's get into it. This is Capital Courage with Rena and Ryan. Welcome, our loyal listeners. I don't know why I started that off with an accent. This is something, if no one was here to watch me, I would do that too. Just so everyone knows, I'm just a person of accents. I feel like it could get me canceled one day, but like, it's not like I'm being mean. I love an accent. I love characters. Okay, I'm just going to stop talking now. Anyways, welcome everyone.
What's your favorite accent before we move on from this?
Definitely like British. Like
fancy British, like Bridgerton?
Yes.
Or like, are we talking like the dirty Cockney kind of?
No, definitely like very proper. Very proper. I would like to, and I do like, would you like a cup of tea? Like those, I feel like I say that phrase a lot too.
We'll be on the lookout.
Everyone comes to the Cap Courage pod for all of our hot political takes, and maybe I'll just do new accents every time.
Just start doing them. We'll do them for our guests.
You can't cancel me if I cancel myself. Something like that. Cancellation's a mindset. Didn't we just who just said that? Was it
Kevin Hart said that? You sent me a thing recently of Kevin Hart being like, I can't be canceled.
Yeah, he's like, because I don't believe in that or something. And I was like, same. Speaking of someone who was canceled.
That's actually, how did we engineer the perfect segue?
Graham Plattner. Who? That man has dropped off the face of the earth. I mean, like I think a couple days after our first episode, and obviously, if you haven't listened to episode 2 that Ryan did while I was in the desert with Jay Ford talking about all things data centers, please go back and watch that because it's phenomenal and I feel like I was even learning new things, especially from Jay's perspective and kind of in the weeds on like the consumption tax and like, let's not be gaslit by thinking this, made a huge dent in stuff when maybe it didn't. So disclaimer, go back and listen to episode 2. But shortly after episode 1, which we, kind of were digesting the news of all of the new allegations, the new ones of Graham Plattner and him stepping down.
We knew things were going south. He hadn't stepped down yet, but
true. Yeah, I think maybe like literally the day after we recorded, he officially stepped down. But even then, he didn't submit his like formal resignation for like days. So then people were like, "Is he going to?" The Maine Democrats have now selected their new Senate candidate, Troy Jackson, who was a gubernatorial nominee just a few months ago too, and didn't get the nomination. So, but I think from what I've heard again as non-Mainers, that he's kind of picking up a lot of that platform. So I do feel confident that the primary voters of Maine that selected Graham Plattner should be, pretty content, maybe just without all the extra baggage. I think my favorite thing about Troy Jackson so far is his most recent scandal that has come out is that he used to troll Republicans in the comment section of the Bangor. Is it Bangor? I really should know this. I think it's Bangor.
You should know this more than most people.
I think it's Bangor. I do, but I don't have family who lives up there, and then I always get like fucking scared saying it. But I think it's Bangor Daily News.
With an anonymous troll account.
He had an anonymous account called Canadians for LePage. And LePage at the time was the governor. And it all kind of comes down to, so Troy Jackson's a logger, and he had this bill when he was I think he was in the state Senate at that point, had put forward a bill to ban logging from like foreign countries. And, again, America first, Mainers first, keep it all here. And LePage had vetoed that bill. And so he just like kept trolling him and just like reading through some of the comments. It's so fucking funny. And I'm like, these are the scandals I like. I prefer them, to be honest. Like, I would rather have this than someone who's like scandal free. Like, no, we need a scandal. And this
Hmm.
one's
Hmm.
hilarious. And it has not timed, it's aged so well. That makes me wonder, like, had this come out 10 years ago, like,
Yes, yes.
would that be like, oh my God, how immature and like weird of this guy? But now it's like
I think it would
there
have,
there's
yeah.
something
When it
about it.
happened,
Yeah.
the vibes are good with him, and it's funny as listeners of the pod, viewers of the pod now, know we're cancers. We pick up on emotional energy pretty quickly. I always loved Graham Plattner's message. I thought he was a great communicator. I thought he was a great, like, in many of the typical ways that a candidate needs to be good: message discipline, ability to engage with voters, command of a room, all those things. He was a great candidate. Obviously, shitty guy. Maine's much better. The country's much better with him, not on the ticket. Um, but oh God, where was I going with this? I had a thing I was going to say.
Just
Um,
like his personality picking up on the good vibes of Troy
oh
Jackson.
yes, yeah, yeah, yeah. But to say there was always something about Graham that seemed a little, and it's not weird in the way of like the tattoo or like as we've talked about in the pod.
Yeah.
I think a lot of those scandals people overblew, but there was something about Graham, and you know what it was for me, honestly, when I think about it, there was something about his smile that I was like, why don't you? And I feel like I'm especially qualified to say this as a guy talking about another man
Yeah.
is like, why don't you smile more? Why is your smile
He's
so
very
weird?
gruff.
And there was part of it that I'm like, something's off about the vibe here. But ever since I started learning about Troy, I'm like, the vibes are great. This trolling thing adds to the
He
vibes.
just feels like goofy, silly, like,
Go off.
yeah, here for it.
And as you said, our last episode, we were feeling some sadness because there was a question at a
mm,
time a few weeks ago of like, would the quote unquote establishment come in and anoint a new nominee? Would there be, clearly, like, Plattner had won a primary against Janet Mills, and voters in Maine spoke very decisively to say, we like this agenda, we like this message. Would that not translate in the end?
yeah.
And it's cool to see that it has.
I know. I'm excited to watch that. I just think it's like it's got to be like especially for him and folks close to him and people also just in Maine like what a difference a couple months makes. Like he was running for governor, he didn't get the nominate and now he might be going to the US Senate and living in Washington D.C. Like that's so crazy to me. Like
Pretty weird. It's a
life is
Cinderella
life is
story.
wild. Yeah. Um and then
You
we
know what's
got
wild
you
too?
what?
Oh, well, I don't know if you were going to say this too. I was going to say Michigan. Michigan's
Yes.
wild these days.
Oh my God. Just literally even the past 72 hours.
Yeah.
Like the vibe has shifted.
Oh,
I
it's
mean,
ugly.
I was always with the vibe, but I feel like the vibe is shifting and even like some of the polling coming out, I'm like, whoa. If you don't know what we're talking about the Democratic primary, which is on Tuesday, so it's about to all be over, thank God. I think it's Tuesday, August 4th.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I am ready for it. I'm like, okay, can we just say who it is and so we can move on from this phase of everything. But Haley
Primaries are
Stevens,
good to a point. To a
yeah, oh
point.
my God, this one's long. Congresswoman Haley Stevens is running against Abdul El Sayed. And I think for a while, I mean, she 100%, she is like the establishment choice. She takes APAC money, um, you know, all the above. He was kind of the outsider. He did run for governor before. He's ran in a couple gubernatorial primaries. I don't know if he's run for something else, but like he was in a primary like against Gretchen Whitmer for governor. So he's definitely he isn't like a first time candidate, but he carries a lot of that kind of like outside energy, probably very similar platform to Plattner and some of the other folks that we've seen winning on um, kind of like the DSA or DSA associated side, even though he is
Hmm.
not a member of the DSA and has never said he was. And so I do think it's interesting. And maybe this is a conversation for another podcast of just like, how, I don't know, just like how you get branded, even though you're not an official. It's just
Yeah.
like, oh wow, really? Because I say something that to me is just like so logical and not like controversial. It's like now I'm a democratic socialist. Interesting. But polling, the last couple polls that have come out have him up like 5 to 10 points. And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I want to believe that because I think it would be crazy and it's a huge message to send across the country. I think if he pulls it off, I think it's definitely going to be a lot closer. Like,
Yeah.
I don't, I really don't see him winning by like a landslide. I think there's a lot of energy online around Abdul, and she's not making it easier on herself. Like, I've seen this comment in a couple places. Like, she is crashing out on like social media. She like is really leaning in to like herself being weird, which I guess like if you are a weird person and you're getting hit on being weird, like okay, lean into it, I guess. Like I guess
Yeah.
that's what I would like probably advise her, but her comments are weird. She's like, I just want to represent Congress, bro, or like represent Michigan, bro. And
Uh-huh.
yeah, she's just got some weird stuff. Maybe I'll post some things on our Instagram later this week of just like a good roundup of the crazy shit that she's saying right now, crashing out.
Yeah. And it's not fun weird. I think to your point is like that can work for a candidate if the weird is kind of fun and quirky and
And
relatable weird. Because
authentic.
like yeah, I think that's like one of my issues with her is, I mean, I have several, but I saw a clip of a quote or a clip of an interview this week with her that encapsulated for me, I think, what my issue with her is, which was someone interviewed her, and I forget even what the thing was. It almost doesn't matter what the thing was, but it was a couple of examples of policies, like policies that she was being asked about. Would you support X if you were elected? And her answer was, I'm just trying to win.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah. Which is like,
And you contrast that with
oh,
Abdul has a very clear, which I really like. This is the way that we as progressives this is the way that we as progressives should be messaging. It's just a very simple. His slogans, his signs, his everything is money out of politics, money in your pocket, Medicare for all. You
yep.
can remember that. There's alliteration. Do we like the phrase money in your pocket? No, we don't on this podcast. We like the phrase keep more
Keep
of
more
what
of
you
what you
earn.
earn. Yep. Because we
Emphasizes
don't want
that
any
you
money being taken out to begin with.
no, no, because you, the voter, are the star of the story. But hey, it's alliteration. I get it. And like, that's a vision, right? Like, that's what people want these days. That's as much as people are crashing out about, what's driving these primaries and can these people win in the general. At the end of the day, people in the Democratic primary electorate around the country are desperate for candidates that have a vision for the future and are more than just sort of I'm going to be a fighter,
Yeah.
which is kind of what Haley's giving.
And I think it's really frustrating because I keep seeing that over and over as like, okay, he wins the primary. Can he win the general? And it's like, okay, well, if she can't win the primary, then what? I don't understand how that's an argument. Like, if she
Right?
can't win the
Right?
fucking primary of Democrat voters, then she would never win the general. So, like, yes, of course, the primary is more important. And, like, yes, I get that we have to compete, but, like, I have never seen Republicans cross over to Democratic policies to win the general. Do you know what I mean? It's like at some point, I think we just have lessons we have to learn as a party.
Hmm.
Um, and I don't think we need to go like, okay, everyone needs to run on like the DSA platform, but we should probably learn some lessons about how to, I mean, honestly, communication's the biggest thing. It's also just
Yeah.
like how you talk about it. You don't even have to change your policies. Just fucking talk about it in like a real way.
It's an issue of like, it's how do you treat your base? I think like at the core of it, to your point, is like, if you care more about, and I'm not saying this to say like we shouldn't care about winning. Obviously, we should care about winning in a very zero sum game sense because politics is not a game. It is about real people's lives and what we do for people. But at the same time, like you don't get to achieve any of those policies if you don't win. So obviously, winning should be first and foremost. But if you care more about winning a general election and what a quote unquote swing voter or independent voter or Republican voter thinks than what your base thinks, that's a problem. we've seen a lot of that, and this is probably something we should do a whole episode about. Is sort of like, has the base in Virginia been listened to over the last several
Yeah.
months? We'll talk about that some other time, maybe. But it's, to me, it's just politics 101, that if you want to succeed and you're building a coalition, you start with the people that are closest to you. And you may not agree with your base on everything, but they can be with you. And they can not just be with you, but be enthusiastically with you.
Yeah.
And
Nailed
again,
it.
back to episode 2, a lot of what we see, and this is one of Abdul's things, it's one of what we see from a lot of candidates around the country, it's data centers.
It's the data centers. I know. I see people's kind of rebuttals to stuff, and I do like to be very not contrarian, but like I really do appreciate like devil advocate people, and you know, not totally hopping on like the bandwagon of just hating something to hate it. But it is just like, if we can't figure out this data center thing, I I don't know what's left of our party. Like, I'm so concerned, even in Virginia on a micro level. Um, we'll have to circle back on even just how some of the Republicans in Virginia are talking about the issue, and the
Hmm.
lack of anything, to be honest, from most, not all, most of the Democrats in Virginia are just not saying anything. So that's great.
Yeah, it's it's a good lesson to close on. Is you got to listen to your people, and especially when, um, I would hope I would hope that over the past few election cycles at the national level, especially, we've seen that there have been a few elections now where the Democratic establishment has misread what people cared about and what
Real.
people feared and felt, and we can't keep doing that. We're not smarter than anybody else. What we can hopefully be better at is, what do you do with the knowledge of what people care about?
Yeah.
But it has to start with acknowledging what they care about, and harnessing that energy.
Well, we will circle back next week after the results of this primary and a couple other ones too. I'm watching, so
Yeah, we got
should be a good
Wisconsin in
discussion.
August.
Yeah.
Talk about that more
Oh
soon.
my God, yes.
There's a lot to come.
All right. Well,
Mm.
thanks, listeners. See you guys next week.
Peace out. That's a wrap on this episode of Capital Courage.
If you like what you heard, make sure to subscribe, leave a review, and tell your politically savvy and maybe not so savvy friends about us.
Join us for new episodes, new takes, and plenty of fearless conversations.
Until next time, stay bold, stay informed, and keep showing up where it matters.
See you next time on Capital Courage with Rena and Ryan.